feels is absolutely terrifying. To have worked for 5 years to grow $500 into 500,000 has been super rewarding, and to see it all just dashed in 2 seconds or less just pisses me off. It's really discouraging. But knowing that it is possible, we did it once, so obviously, I think the first decision I had to make was, am I willing to do it again? And I spent a week crying and talking to myself about whether I would do it again. And then I had to go to my business partner and my husband and the glass half empty guy, and get permission to do it again. To ask permission from other people, because I'm highly independent and really freaking stubborn. Actually quantify it was a huge leap for me yesterday. I just shot the number, I need 10,000 customers a month on my ass, and really the number is half that bad. So, I was like, I'm going to guess. I think the number is 10,000, but really the actual quantifiable number is 5,000. We've done that on a consistent basis before. Now for me, it's really about creating action steps and how are we going to get back to that. And right now, the hardest part about it is that I have to take this journey one step at a time and deal with what comes at me on a moment-to-moment, day-by-day basis, instead of creating a big plan, because this is too fluid of a situation for us right now to create any big plans. And that is the biggest challenge in front of me, is to not say, so in 5 years, we're going to do this, and in a year, we're going to do that, and in 2 weeks, we're going to do that, because that decision isn't going to stick. And then I'm going to feel like a liar, and I have to not do that to myself.
Okay. So what is the scariest part for you? Because you were saying it was very scary. So what's freaking you out the most?
What's freaking me out the most is that I put a lot of stock into knowing what's going on, to being like the finger on it. I know where this manager is and that manager is. And right now, I don't even know if my managers will come back when we get to be in business again.
Okay.
So for me, the hardest part is, the biggest, scariest part is feeling unreliable to them, even though I know they all totally understand. I feel unreliable, and that's a really big challenge for me.
Is it also control?
Big time. Yep.
Yeah.
Because if I can work enough hours, if I can do enough work, but right now I can't do anything except for deal with what comes up next, one foot in front of the other, deal, and stop trying to control it all, because there's zero, nothing. I mean, seriously, my daughter pulled in on the ship in New York yesterday, and I can't control that either. My other one's floating in the middle of the med, and I'm not allowed to tell him how shitty things are. So I keep sending him cute pictures of his dog.
Right.
Because as bad as we think we all have it right now, she's literally picking up dead bodies today off the street. So, yep, it's going to be ugly, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I am in a position where I have to deal with this 1 minute at a time and not create a bunch of bullshit for myself, because that's all I can do right now.
Right. Okay. Thank you for sharing and being open. I appreciate that. Lots of love to you.
You too.
Miss Monica, how was your hairy, scary goal that you posted about yesterday? Let's get you unmuted.
Okay, here I am. Well, is it okay that, like, it's exciting to me? Like,
yes, it should be exciting. It should be exciting and going, oh my God, what did I just do? What did I just say? Oh my God, I'm excited, but I'm scared, but I'm excited.
Okay, because like I'm so excited, and if I'm scared, it's just the scared that like I won't make it. But I believe I can. So for me, because I'm on my way. Like if I were to make it bigger, I need to get to this step first. So I want to write that step before I, create. But anyway, so I'm super excited, and and it's so nice to write it down, because then I can like write down like what I need to do to get there. But that's how, like, if you want to, that's how I feel.
Awesome. So what is the thing that scares you the most about doing it though? Is there any fear that's coming along with it?
Well, the fear is that, I had my way that was getting me there and now it's like totally taken away. So the fear is like, can I still do it and learn a new way? And is it possible virtually and not seeing people? So that would be the fear, is that part.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Miss Kari, how did you feel about yours? I'm excited to see this this workbook or this journal, like planning cookbook thing come into fruition.
So the reason I didn't post last night is because I was like notes and sheets and numbers and crunching numbers. And, I put in the vault that I actually have 4 projects. So the scariness is, did I pick the right one to start with? And yes, I'm excited because the workbook is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And it's just like one of those things you've been wanting to do for a long time, but you haven't actually taken the steps to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, I really was playing around with which one do I pick? And that's why it took me till this afternoon. And I literally was working on it all day long because I was like, you wanted numbers, you wanted figures, you wanted dates, you wanted stuff. So I was just writing and writing and writing, and then I'd have to put out a fire and then come back to it. And so I could be here at 5 o'clock today.
Good. So like dissecting that and making that like become a part of your reality, how does that feel now? Like you've kind of written it all down.
It feels good that I've gotten that much more detail into it. I mean, I'm sure I could always put in more, but then I could be writing for another week just on my why, So it feels good that I'm actually going to be taking the steps to move forward with that.
Okay. Love it. Awesome. Miss Deb, tell us about, I noticed you changed your number when you, from yesterday's, you took it down a notch. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I listened to what you said about if we have a goal that is like not reachable, then it's going to it's not going to make us feel so good. Right. So the goal I chose is still a big goal. But I think it's a reasonable goal, because when I broke down the numbers with, okay, if I want to do $50,000 in product sales and how many people I need to, get in a month to do that, and then break that down into a week, I can do that. I'm very fortunate that even though I am laid off, I anticipate going back to work when this is all over. And like Jennifer, our industry disappeared overnight. But I also, when I did the goal, I really believe if I plan it properly, that I can still make that goal when I go back to work.
Okay.
And that's something that I wanted to do, because I have promised my husband that I will work till I'm 64, no longer. And then I want to do Ruby Ribbon, and I'll be collecting, Social Security then, and I'll be taking money if we haven't, any retirement money left. But you know what? I can still do this and still, have my why I'm doing this and things like that. So that's why I changed the number, because I don't care if I work 24/7. That was not going to be. And you know what? I don't want to work 24/7. I am finally at a point in my life where I have a lot of balance, and I have triplet girls, and they're 11 months old. They're not mine, they're my sons. But I have to tell you, I spend as much time with them as I can. And I have not seen them in 2 weeks. And last night, they posted pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing so much just in 2 weeks. But you know what? I'm a positive person, so this is keeping me on track. So I thank you for that. And somebody always has it worse off than we do. So fortunate. So that's my story.
Yeah, I'm super proud of you, because just having that little shift, I think is really super important, because I see it all the time. People are very ambitious, very ambitious. They see the possibilities and all of the potential income they can make, and they're like, I'm working more. I wanted to join this network marketing company because I wanted to have flexible hours and I wanted to be my own boss, and I'm working more than I was in my 9 to 5, right?
Truth. Yeah. And you know what? I have always been that overachiever. I had a fantastic career. I was running a $2 million tourism organization. And you know what? I don't want that anymore. And it's funny when we talk about obstacles today, because I'll tell you what my biggest fear was. Not anymore, but what it was. So I'll keep you hanging on that.
Okay, I'm excited to hear about it.
Okay.
All right, Miss Angela, I'm super excited for you too, because you have a lot going on, and I said pick one.
Yeah, that was not easy, but like I said back, I said, step out of my comfort zone and do stuff I don't want to do. So I went from following up with 25 people every month across all my businesses. And I went down to just the real estate, and I dropped it to 20 people because I was like, woo, 25 might be too much. Only actually probably for the same reason Deb was saying, it might be just unattainable. And I know that if I'm consistently following up with 20 people every month, it'll eventually fill my funnel. And I can refer to my teammates and get commissions off of them, which is great. I can still be making money. So a little secret I'm going to tell you all is, chances are this will become my business in the next 10 to 15 years, or I will be a co-owner with someone else on the team. So basically, it's my legacy, my heritage, whatever you call it. So the only scary part is, it's like, I want to go in 16 different directions, and I want to make sure I am reaching out to people across all my industries and stuff. So I just have so much on my plate. And I do a lot of the admin work behind the scenes. I have like 500 business cards to enter for my dad. I do all his admin. So I could literally spend 15 to 20 hours a week just doing admin.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing for the next 3 weeks, 25 hours a week doing admin. So following up with people is important, so you're top of mind type of thing, but you don't want to be in their face.
Right.
So
well,
as I'm doing all these cards, I'm going to be following up with people.
Yeah. I also think that, I have a rule of thumb. My rule is that I'm not allowed to take on more than 5, because there's 5 days a week and I have 5 fingers on one hand. So okay. I'm a managing director for Polkadot, right? And Diamond. So that's one, right? Then I have my subscription box. Then I have my mentoring, and then I have my podcast, and then I have, right? So for me, I needed to say, Elaine, let's be realistic. And how much time do you actually have? And I'm not allowed to take on any more unless I give.
I went like 9.
Right.
Well, a lot of it's work related and some of it's personal development. So it's just,
Right.
if I laid it all out, you'd probably like be overwhelmed.
Right. But here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned and why I had to do this for myself. I can be really crappy at 10 things, or I can be really good at one thing.
That's great.
I know. And so it was what I needed to do in order to be really good at that one thing. And so that was the rule that I had also created for myself when I was a photographer, right? I picked only 3 genres of things that I would photograph, because then instead of spreading myself out so thin and trying to do families and trying to do newborns and trying to do boudoir and trying to do seniors and trying to do events and trying to do all the things, I was like, it's too much. And so I trimmed it back and I said, I'm going to focus on these 3 things. I'm going to market these 3 things and become really good at those things. And so for you, it's not that you can't have all those little side hobbies, but where you water your grass, that's where it's going to grow. So you focus where you're watering your grass instead of trying to water 10 different things. Yes, 95%, you suck at 95% of the things.
Wow. So there's one more little caveat to this. So I have to work at least 25 hours a week for 3 years before I can get my broker's license. And the idea is this is a weird idea. Once I get my broker's license, I can scale back a little bit and then grow my insurance, which I'm licensed in. So like I have 2 licenses in 2 different industries that are quite related to each other. So there's just a lot in my head, and I'm single, I'm child free, I'm pet free. So I have a lot of freedom and flexibility, but I also only have myself to rely on, unless you count the family business, which is not a guarantee, but 95% guaranteed. So it's just that type of thing, that mentality in the back of my mind, like you need a plan B, I need to have multiple income streams, and I've always believed in that. So I guess I just have to get really good at the real estate, keep that top of mind, and then like maybe in 3 months pick something else to just focus on. I mean, aside from the real estate, but like maybe take this whole thing and apply it to Toastmasters, like insurance or send note cards or something. So I was thinking that last night.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm on 5 hours of sleep because you guys got me so excited, by the way.
Well, I just want you to be realistic with your time, right? And
absolutely.
And not take on so much that you can't do anything, because your job is to not work 24 hours a day.
My dad doesn't believe that.
That's not your job. It's not to work 24 hours a day.
Okay. He read that 880 I'm sorry, I'm going off topic. He read that 880-page document, by the way, that was released on Friday, and he has a white sheet for it all, and he's like, I'll send it out to you tonight. And I'm like, yeah, I'll read it tomorrow and I can think. So that's my father.
Hey, boundaries. We're going to need to.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow, Dad.
Yeah. The hell yes, hell no. That's where you need to be in the hell yes, hell no class that we did last month.
Oh.
It was all about boundaries.
Someone's going to tell me about that one.
Oh, yeah. It was
all
great.
right. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
Miss Joyce.
Hello. So goals I set kind of did scare me, because I've been wanting to build my business for a while, and it hasn't been building as quick as I like. I have regular classes, and usually getting people to classes and showing them and trying out the oils is what gets you signups to build your business. So I'm kind of excited, but I'm also scared. I'm excited that with what's going on right now, I'm moving into online classes, which I think might bring a few more people that haven't come to my in-person classes. They might be more willing to do it online, but I add that extra step where I have to mail them sample oils in order to be able to experience them during the online class.
Mhm.
So I've already reached out to one person to see if they're interested so I can get them mailed out and get that scheduled. Well, I
Perfect.
have 2 classes scheduled now, one for next Monday and one for Saturday, which is my regular ones I usually do. I
Mhm.
just moved them online, but I'm not sure anybody wants to attend yet, so we will see. So I'm kind of getting my script together for the class and figuring out what samples to make so I can send all that out. So there's a lot of prep work involved there.
Okay. All right. Good, good, good. We'll definitely talk more about that. Miss Isabel, how are you doing?
Hi. Sorry.
I said, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Did a good job. You did a good job.
Finding the numbers to be able to live off of this was difficult, to say the least,
Okay.
because I technically don't have any professional experience at the moment. I don't have any references or people to back me up to say, hey, I am a good writer. So right now my numbers have to be really low because I need to gain credibility. And my mom was actually helping me. She was like, as your credibility grows and as you get better at it, you can build your prices. And so I'm trying to start low and trying to start at a reasonable goal before I can move on.
Mhm. Okay. I definitely have a lot of ideas for you. So we can definitely chat more about that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but you did a good job on putting your goals out there. And I know that it's going to be scary, but it's also going to be really exciting for you at the same time. It's just all unfamiliar territory. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Laura, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. So how are you doing with, I didn't see, did you post your goals? Because I didn't see them.
I haven't posted it, but I have them.
Okay, do you want to share them?
Sure. My goal is by September to start a membership-based learning community for kids ages 8 to 18 with at least 10 students enrolled, and having weekly volunteers set up in the community and beyond through October. And so yeah, and I'm actually thinking about putting in an online component for, especially for people who are realizing that unschooling is actually probably a really good thing for a lot of kids. And it is kind of based on an unschooling idea that not everybody thrives in a school environment. So
Right.
an alternative I'm creating.
Okay, perfect. So, what is scaring you the most about that?
Geez, everything. It's I think that there's a couple things that scare me. One is having owned a pizzeria for 12 years, starting another business where, you know, there's licensing and all those things, and being really locked into it's kind of, I mean, I love working with kids. I just haven't done it in so long that that's one of my fears is, you know, getting in front of those people. I mean, my kids are grown. I don't have kids in school anymore, and you know, I haven't taught in 15 years. So there's that, but it's also just having had a business, or I mean, I still do, but balancing that, the time that's involved in creating everything, and so it's a little overwhelming.
Okay, I gotcha. Miss Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good.
And, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So what would you like to know specifically? Because you
So
and I worked together a few times, yeah.
we were talking about goals, and did you get your goals posted in the group yesterday?
I posted them on the virtual workbook.
Oh, okay. I haven't gone in there yet today.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. So do you want to talk a little bit about how that felt for you to write them out and put them to lay it all out into some sort of plan?
Yes, it's not the first time. You know, this year, last year was kind of like my learning curve, if you will. I've spent a lot of time in professional and personal development and making connections and whatnot. And you know, when you follow a lot of influencers or you get involved in a lot of workshops, there's a lot of big grandiose. They're doing great things, but we don't see that they've been working on it for years and years. You know, we just see, oh, they're so super successful. We want to emulate them and be just like them. Well, that's not always realistic, just as Lelaine was saying. So I'm pulling it back to a more realistic outlook, and I would love to break even and not be in the hole like I put myself in last year. So some of my goals are very conservative.
Okay.
So I would like to break even and have, you know, a modest net income, and that's a great starting point for me because I'm still not even a year into my business. You know, but other than that, you know, processes I've been working through and creating and figuring out who my avatar client is, which I know that now. So when I'm doing networking, I'm asking, it's like, who do you know? It's not, I've been doing a lot of relationship building through the last year, but I really need to get to that avatar client, and it's through making some connections and relationships, but I need to be really clear focused in that direction. And yeah, it's not necessarily here in Colorado Springs. I need to get out.
Gotcha. Yeah. You have a business that could totally, I mean, all online. Like you can, you know, that's the beauty of being able to sell a product, especially one that you custom make, is that you can send it anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So awesome. I have your stuff pulled up, so I do see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up. Miss Katie, how did you feel about sharing your goals yesterday?
Yeah. So discomfort was my chosen word for the year. And I am really comfortable working with clients behind the scenes. I'm really comfortable with, you know, getting up, doing my job, getting their stuff out there and being done. And I love being in front of people, but it never occurred to me to cross the two together, you know, to teach what I know. And one of my clients said, you know, you really need to get out there and tell people what you do. And so, yeah, and then of course, you know, last month you challenged me wretchedly to get my thing out there. And so I figured, you know, I'm working on the second tier of that workshop, and you said big, hairy, audacious, and holy cow, this really terrifies me to put something out there that it's going to be more than 3 to 5 clients, that it's going to be more than just doing a video, that it's going to be fully involved teaching what I know and fully laying myself out there. But at the same time, like this morning, I don't mean to get off on this thing, but I was laying in bed trying to convince myself that, hey, I need to get up, I need to get moving. And the thought crossed my head that I have to get up and be responsible because people are counting on me. And that was massive. You know, for me, Pinterest is a breeze. You know, that is easy. You get on there, you create the pin, you lay down the hashtags, you lay down the keywords, you schedule it and you go. And it's not for other people. And so just the idea of mapping out 12 months worth of stuff to put out there, mapping out or creating the worksheets to go with it, creating the training sessions to go along with it, and actually putting forth product for people that can be consumed in such a way that it forwards them. It's both exciting and terrifying because, you know, like I've said before, I've spent 25 years being told that I couldn't do stuff like that people would never want to buy from me. And here I am people are actually hiring me and people are actually working with me. And so
Imagine that.
I know. So that's where I'm going. So my putting it out there that I want to have a membership group, that I actually want to have it opened by the 1st of June, is even more terrifying, because, you know, the next 30 days is creating all the social media hype. And then May is when my big divorce is supposed to be finalized. And so here we go. Let's do this.
Awesome. I have resources for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miss Christine also shared a big, giant, hairy goal yesterday that was really exciting. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was hard to, the homework didn't seem to fit my goal, you know, some of the questions, so it was kind of hard to answer them. But yeah, we just decided, my husband and I decided, we're gonna turn our basement into my studio. And what better time was when I don't have clients, right? So I don't have to schedule around it. But it gives me a kind of a hard deadline that's scary as fuck. I just, you know, it's just, so that's what we're doing that. And then I've also got somebody working on my website so that I can start, somebody suggested to me yesterday, actually it was this morning, that I start maybe selling gift certificates, so that, and with, the date to be determined, because we don't know when we're going to be going back to work. So that way I can kind of start getting things rolling a little bit. So I'm going to look into that tonight.
Okay.
And but yeah, it's all of a sudden moving and scary.
Good. Good. I will talk to you more about that, because I have some feedback for you, some tips and things when I had a home studio,
Okay.
of things that were really kind of like going, what you need, what's important and what's not important. I learned.
Yeah. Like to dump all the not important stuff. For sure.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Miss Samantha, how was putting it out there that you wanted to start a preschool? I love that.
Oh, thanks. I was talking to someone about it. She's like, don't tell anyone about this. They'll take your idea. And I was like, I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, it was awesome, because I really I feel like when I do tell people about it, it gives me more accountability, obviously.
Yes.
So it was just really awesome I like the last point that was on the homework, that you have to think about how you're going to do it. And so I had to think about the steps and everything that I have to do to get there. But yeah, it's a big project, and I was on a roll, and now everything's just shut down. So anyway, I have all the time to do it, and nobody wants to talk to me.
Yeah, it's a good time to focus on mapping it all out. I mean, what better time to do it when the world is shut down?
Yeah. So
good. Awesome. So thank you all for sharing. I appreciate, that you all took the time to do the homework, to do the work. I think that is the hardest part, showing up to do the work. So today we're going to talk about barriers and kind of what is in your way. And there are a million things that stand in the way of us achieving our goals, achieving our dreams, just even moving closer towards them. The excuses train is a fantastic little devil that likes to show up and give you a list of reasons of why you can't do something. And for me, it was showing up in the form of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage was showing up in my life on a regular basis, to the point that I wound up giving her a name. And I call her Sally. Sometimes her name is Cheryl. It just depends on the day. Apparently, I think I have two of them. But I literally have to just tell her to sit down and be quiet. But I thank her for trying to keep me safe, because that's really what she's trying to do, right? Self-sabotage is really trying to keep you in your comfort zone. But I tell her thank you, but that I don't need her right now. And I imagine my self-sabotage as a little girl sitting in the living room with bubble wrap. And she's trying to entice me to play bubble wrap with her and just stay with her all day, because leaving the house and going out into the world is scary, and so many bad things can happen just leaving the house. There's so many bad things that could happen. And so her job is to keep me safe, wrapped in bubble wrap, and I cannot live there. Like, nothing fun happens inside my comfort zone. Like, nothing amazing happens inside my comfort zone. And so I had to decide, I had to make a choice that I was going to intentionally do things that scared the shit out of me. I have to, because that's where I learn, that's where I grow, that's where the amazing things start happening, is when I decide to step out of my comfort zone. Jennifer. You're so funny. I love it. Oh my gosh. Love it, love it, love it. So there's self-sabotage, right? There's fear. And when you really get down into what fear is, what is it that you're actually truly afraid of? Like, there's like usually an underlying theme, and then there's some relatable incident that may have happened where, and some of you have heard me tell this story before about my fear of disappointing others. I learned that disappointing others didn't feel good when I decided to skip school when I was in, I think I was either 8th grade or a freshman, I can't remember. But yeah, that was super fun to have my dad tell me that he wasn't angry, he was just disappointed. It's not like he beat me or anything, right? But the feeling of disappointing someone you love sucked. And I never wanted to do that again. So enter Elaine, the overachieving people pleaser. That's how she was born. And so in my pursuit of never disappointing everyone, I took on everything because I was trying to make everybody else happy. And what did that result in? Burnout. Ooh, my thumb just disappeared. Did you see that? Oh my God, my thumb is gone. Oh, you gotta love these virtual backgrounds. But I learned, right, that being the overachiever people pleaser, I was burned out. I was exhausted, and I was not taking care of myself. I was taking care of everyone else. And so, but it took me tracing back that fear of disappointing others to say, when was a time that actually happened in my life? And I fully credit, Jennifer knows, Ms. Elda Dorothy, that woman, I tell you what, she totally like helped me bring that out. And I was like, OMG, this explains so much. It explained so much, just being able to trace it back. So, so when you think about what's in your way, I really want you to think about, what is it for you? Is it fear? Is it perfectionism? Right? There are some times that we are waiting for things to be perfect before we move forward, before we take any steps at all. It has to be perfect. And I like to say that done is better than perfect, because guess what? Perfect doesn't actually exist. It will never be perfect. And if you're waiting for perfect, you're going to be waiting a really long ass time. You're going to be waiting a long ass time. So ditch perfectionism, because it's not serving you and it doesn't actually exist. It's not going to be perfect. And are you okay with that? Can you be okay with it not being perfect? Okay. Distractions. What distractions are keeping you, what distractions are keeping you stuck? Anyone else like, oh, I'll just be on Facebook all day long to avoid doing the thing that's going to get me closer to my goal. because actually getting closer to your goal means that you're taking risks and you're doing things outside of your comfort zone. So I'm going to distract myself over here and pretend like I'm busy. I'm just going to be busy over here doing things that are not actually getting me closer to my goal. Anyone else? Girl, I can waste hours. I have discovered TikTok and it is so entertaining. It is so entertaining. I love the dog videos. I'm not even going to lie. They make me so happy and laugh out loud. But watching TikTok videos does not get me anywhere closer to my goals.
Bad girl. Bad girl.
But it also can be a great end of the day distraction when I just am like, I just want to like not have, I don't want to think about anything. I just want to let
If
it
you
all
block that time, that's called self-care if you block time.
Oh, for sure.
But if you just do it and don't block any time and do it for hours, then it's called bullshit.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So it's giving yourself permission and giving yourself time to procrastinate, to have distractions. Totally okay to do that. Give yourself set aside time to do that. Totally okay. Money. Is money is that a barrier for you? Is it the fear of money, that I'm not going to make money, that I'm not going to have money, I can't spend money, investing in myself is scary, what if I do and it doesn't work out? Like thinking about all of the horrible things that can go wrong with money. Here's the thing that I've learned about money. You can always make more money, right? The fear of money has created some horrible situations for a lot of people. And money is actually just the transfer of energy. Spending money, earning money are good things. For a long time, I had a fear of money. And I learned that money actually is not a bad thing, but I felt guilty for charging people money. The first time that I told someone I was charging them $2,000 for a photo shoot, I wanted to throw up because I was like, the fear of rejection came with the fear of money. It was like, oh my God, they're gonna tell me that I'm not worth that money, right? That all of the time that I was putting into their photo shoot, they were gonna tell me that I was batshit crazy. They didn't, but that was my fear. And so for the longest time, I undercharged myself because I was afraid to charge what I was worth because of rejection. Are you a planaholic? Anyone here? Kari, planaholic? Plan, but not do. Planning, it's almost like, I don't want to say an addiction, but it's like, it's a thing where we just get into plan mode and the plan has to be perfect, right? Oh yes, pages and pages and pages, pages and pages. In order to actually get to where you're trying to go, you're actually going to have to implement at least one thing that you've written down. It's okay to have a million ideas, but you have to know which ones to actually implement and which ones to ditch, right? And that's why sometimes you need a talk it out person to say, which one do I actually want to focus on, right? Because there's so many ideas. Do you have unrealistic expectations for yourself where you have set the bar so high and you're going, how in the hell am I going to do that? So you don't even bother trying because there's no way in hell you're ever going to accomplish that. Anyone? I see Kari giving me the eye. She's like, son of a bitch, she's talking to me. I can see it in your face, cracking me up. Unrealistic expectations. We talked about that yesterday, and Deb was super smart and said, isn't I setting myself up to be disappointed? Is my goal realistic? You know? And I think that the best thing you can do for yourself is to set realistic expectations. What's doable? What's achievable? It's not that you're not doing things that scare you, but do it in a way that's going to set you up for success instead of set you up for disappointment. Right? My least favorite F word, I love the F word, but my least favorite F word is failure. And it's because I actually don't believe in failure. I believe in learning opportunities. I believe in lessons. There was a book a long time ago that I read called If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. It was on Oprah's book club. It was a super short read, but it was really, I loved it. And one of them, the lessons was, there are no mistakes, only lessons. And the very next one was, lessons will be repeated until learned. And it was like, oh shit. That is like the thing that keeps me going, what's the lesson? Haven't I had this situation happen before? Why is it showing up again? Oh, because I didn't learn the last time. And this is an opportunity to do something different. It's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We all know that. So what are you willing to do different? What got you here, where you are right now, is not going to get you there, which is where you're trying to go. You have to do something different. And the thing that you have to do different is the thing that's going to scare the holy bejesus out of you. Absolutely 100%. Because your comfort zone is here and you're trying to get over here. So you're going to have to say, all right, I see you, I feel you, thank you, but I'm going to do it anyways. Right? And how many of you are stuck on someday I'll do this, someday I'll do that, someday I'll have the time, someday all the stars will align and everybody's just going to give me all their money, someday. Someday. Someday is today. Someday is today. Anyone stuck in shoulda, woulda, coulda, living in the past? That is a huge barrier for a lot of people as well, is they think about all the things that they could have done, they should have done, they would have done differently. Man, if I would have invested in Apple when it first came around. So we're living in the past. We're living in a place that we have absolutely no control over anymore. We're stuck there. And staying in that place is actually not going to get you anywhere closer to where you want to be. Not at all. So let it go, right? Listen, what is it? Elsa? Is she saying let it go? Right? So on your worksheet, fear. Does anyone know what fear stands for? I talked about it the other day. Does anyone remember?
Depends on who you ask.
True.
I have a different interpretation, but I know yours also.
Yeah, right.
Yours is?
So, false evidence appearing real. I like to use face everything and rise. It's a good way to shift it. So fear is sometimes something that we're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of something that we don't know what the outcome could be. It's just we don't know. And for us fellow Virgo control freaks, right? Not knowing can cause a lot of fear and anxiety because I want to know the answers to all the questions. I want to know, I'm a planner. I want to have a plan. I want to know exactly what's going to happen. You don't get to always know those things. And I had to be okay with not knowing, that it was okay to not know what the future held. So based on kind of all of the things, what fear, what barrier that we talked about is standing in your way? What is the thing that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you from moving closer toward your goals? What is it, Angela? I see you. What is it?
It's me.
Right?
It's me.
Yes, it is you. You are the only thing standing in your way. Everything else, you know what it is? It's self-created. We create that list of all the bullshit that is keeping us from getting shit done. So after today, there are no more excuses. They do not exist. They do not exist. Because we are here to get some shit done. And we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. Like, we have big dreams and big plans, and we don't have time to wallow in our self-pity and to wallow in the place of self-made excuses. I love the quote, "You find a way or you find an excuse." And the reality is it's a choice. It's a choice. It's a self-made excuse. So we have some fill in the blanks. You guys ready? Fear creates doubt. Fear creates doubt. Doubt creates sabotage. Sabotage creates insanity. And insanity creates fear. Nice, nice little, I totally made that up, y'all. I did. I was like, ooh, so we're gonna pivot. We're gonna shift this because that's exactly what we're here to do. Anyone else ready to pivot? Ready to shift and say, I'm not going to live in that place anymore. I am ready to get some shit done, and I'm not going to allow fear to rule my life any longer. All right, here we go. This is how we're going to pivot it. I also made this up. Fear creates opportunity. Fear creates opportunity. Opportunity creates action. Action creates success. And success creates energy. Therefore, energy and action cures fear. The biggest way to overcome your fear is action. Doing the work, doing the things that scare the shit out of you is how you cure fear. Plain and simple. Sometimes confidence is another part of the tool of our tool belt that is keeping us in this place of feeling stuck, is because we don't feel confident our skills. We don't feel confident in our education. We don't feel confident in our worthiness. We don't feel confident that anyone wants to hear what we have to say. It's more self-made excuses. And I have a rule of thumb. So confidence really truly is the belief in yourself. That's what confidence is. Confidence is the belief in yourself. And if you are having a hard time believing in yourself, I would like to invite you to borrow my belief in you until you have it for yourself. Because I fully 100% wholeheartedly believe in every single one of you. Do you know why? Because you took the time to show up. And that tells me how important your goal is to you. That you are taking time to show up, to do the work and say, this is what I want, and I am dead serious about it. Perfect.
I hope that wasn't too long.
I'm going to share with you guys the homework that we have for today, and I'll post it in the group as well. But today, we're going to talk about crushing your fear. Okay, so I want you to write out. So yesterday you did your goals. Today I want you to write what is standing in your way. Like, I want you to make a list of all the things that you can anticipate that is going to be in your way. So what are the hurdles? What's the bullshit? What's the sabotage? All the things that are going to pop up for you, that are going to somehow interfere with your reaching your goals. Is it time? Is it money? Is it yourself? Is it your spouse? Is it what other people might think of you? Is it trying to secure a space? Is it building your website? All of the things. Okay. And then for each one of them, for each one, each excuse that you lay down, because remember, they're just excuses, I want you to crush it. And you're going to crush it by what's the reality, because remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. So it may not even be a real thing. It's something that you are anticipating. You're anticipating that it's not going to work. You're anticipating that no one's going to hire you. You're anticipating that it's just going to be a big flop. But you don't actually know that yet. You don't actually know. So how are you going to crush that fear? So for every one you write down, your challenge is to crush it. So how is it not true? How is it easy to overcome? Is it an affirmation? Is it money comes to me with ease? Something like that, right? So do you see what I'm saying? Does everybody kind of understand what your task is? Okay, so for every bullshit excuse you have, you're going to crush it. And I would love for you to post it in the group. If you are not comfortable with that, you can send it to me privately, or you can do it online and do the digital version of it. Okay, but that is your homework for the day. And tomorrow, we're talking about taking action. Okay, so tomorrow is our action day, where we are going to create the strategy that is necessary for you to help you reach the goal that you have set for yourself. We're going to break it down. And I'm going to tell you everything you need in order to create a plan that is attainable for you. Okay? Any thoughts or questions? I know we went over a little bit, so My goal is to keep it at an hour, so just so you guys know that. So I'm going to let you guys all go. And if you have questions, reach out. I'm here to support you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on day 3.
Thank
And
you.
before you sign off, can you post the link to the Facebook group again for me,
Yes.
please? So I can just go right to it.